Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. Now, today's video is a little bit different to the ones that we usually see posted here. Today, I just want to do a little bit of a rant about the kind of impact that classic stories have had on the modern imagination and the impact on these timeless tales in the creation of new ones. I am someone who finds inspiration in a lot of different works and tends to adapt things in a very helter-skelter sort of way, where I'm grabbing things and throwing them into this Frankensteinian new project that's just borrowing parts from other great works in an attempt to create another. Now, of course, in just doing that, I'm never going to create a great work, let alone the fact that I don't have the resources to do so. I think nowadays, to create something truly groundbreaking or shattering, you need to really you need a lot of work. You need a lot of ready access to certain materials. It's not a world where we don't live in a world more so that you can put the pen to paper and create something that is just truly remarkable. That's not to say that it's impossible. It's just more so things have been said to a staggering degree at this point that it takes something truly unheard of to really shake up the game. And I highly doubt there's any more of that infinite wisdom to be mined from the brain nowadays, from anyone's brains. I feel like while there's still great stories to be told, we're emerging into a time where you really need to, or we're moving into a time, that you really need to be drawing inspiration from different places. Gone are the days where you can tell a story that is uniquely original, even if you want to argue the case that the classics, as we'll discuss in this video, have been inspired by past from oral traditions or mythos that have existed for no one knows how long. It's just kind of regurgitated tales that have been told ad nauseum or just ad infinitum, and have either held up and have stood the test of time, or have not and have since fallen into ill repute or into obscurity. But as someone who writes a lot, who does a lot, I'm currently actually sticking to my first writing project for the first time in ages. I'm someone who usually sticks to something and then gives up halfway through or really early on. But I'm sticking to something for once. I'm on the first entry in a 3-novella series that I'm pretty proud of. I'm really trying to work to deconstruct my assumed notions of writing, and that things have to be perfect, that kind of perfectionist voice in my brain that makes writing very hard, because if I don't get it right the first time, I just refuse to keep writing. I need to sit there and edit as I'm going, and then it obviously comes around again when I have to edit, when it comes time to editing, and I'm refusing to do so because I have this idea of perfection, that I've created something that is like a diamond, right? Like it's unable to be polished, when even diamonds can be refined again. But I wanted to talk about this mainly. I wanted to bring up this topic primarily because something I've been attempting to adapt recently is Robert Chambers' The King in Yellow. Now, this is not an official print from what I know. This was the cheapest copy I could find because I just needed a print copy to adapt, along with Aesop's Fables. These two books were going to form this great choir for a part of a little series I've not really had the ability to work on, that some of you who follow my stuff might know of, called the Clare Compendium. I really need The King in Yellow to be a certain thing. I need to imagine it in a certain way in my own brain that requires the use of physical media. I find reading things online to be quite exhaustive, and it's just a toss-up. It's always just like tossing ideas around, and you go in between notes and shit, like the fucking 3,000 notes I have on my phone and my laptop that will just never see the light of day. There's so much writing that goes into things, and you'll just never see it because the quality of them can turn out so poor, when I have to admit that I've put a lot of work into things. That kind of sucks. But Wendigoon actually just did a video covering the King in Yellow, which kind of reignited that spark that I had just a month ago to really get this, to really dig into this book and well, the books within it and adapt it. And I know I'm speaking of adaptations or adaptations as if they're something that I, as a novice writer or just someone who's been like a lifelong writer, no one of professional status can somehow do great justice. And I know I probably can't, but I want to. This is central to the themes of my story, as to not expose what themes they are, sorry for the light. Let's just say that it's important. Hastur is a name that's very important to the series, and the idea of mnemonic impressions is very important. A lot of my series writing here on YouTube tends to fall into this battle of gods and demigods and, the worlds of heaven and hell, and the Clay Compendium is no exception, although it tends to be more grounded and focused on the struggles of individuals of no prowess or power that may or may not be sought out by higher beings or higher powers, and it's kind of a battle between ancient ways, I guess, ancient practices, ancient structures and systems, and a crumbling modernity, I guess. I'm very critical of modern times in my writing, and The King in Yellow is quite a perspective, like, kind of self-reflective writing, a collection of stories that kind of looks to the future in an optimistic way, which is kind of interesting given its subject matter, but I really wanted to flip that on its head and turn it into something powerful, but I've been struggling trying to find the lens through which I would adapt any part of this book. Aesop's Fables is very easy to digest in that way because it is, very short little poetic whatever reflections, I guess. And I can adapt the thematic dialogue within these into anyone's place in a video, in a series, regardless of what the form is, if that makes sense. My words are very weird today, I'm very tired. I guess the reason that I've been so hellbent on this particularly is because I've been taking an adaptation class at uni. Not of my choosing, you don't get the luxury of that really with a dual degree, but it's really opened my eyes as to what can be or what makes an adaptation, and it's really demanded of me a really introspective look at the things I've created and the things I've engaged with and what I've found works and what doesn't, and just the things that need to be said. If you feel like something needs to be said because it's crossed into your heart, then you should just go for it. The King in Yellow is kind of that to me. It's kind of like the way that it usurps, the King in Yellow usurps stories. It has usurped the message that I want to communicate through the Clay Compendium, and I'm really just, I guess, putting my feelers out there, putting my tendrils out there, hoping that if I make this video acknowledging that I want to adapt this work, the universe will pay me back in some big way, and I'll get that aha moment where it just clicks. But as the world works, that's probably wishful thinking and it won't happen. Nevertheless, I'm going to keep this video up for as long as I can, raw, unedited, to just acknowledge my feelings. It's been a long time with no video here. I have some things on the way. Well, we had the Carissa's Weird video recently. I have some things on the way that are actual more documentarian approaches. My words. That are more documentary-based works, or I guess videos. Not of a particularly long length, but ones that I think are very good subjects, and that I wanted to delve into for a while. I know we were supposed to have the Teenage Disaster breakdown, the Banshees of Inisherin breakdown, there's a bunch of little mini video essays I want, if you could call them that I've wanted to partake in and give to you guys, but I haven't. So I very much apologize for that if you have been wanting some content out of this channel. I highly doubt that there's anyone out there waiting on videos from me as much as I feel the urge to, but as always, I'm always between projects, even if I tell you that I'm hyper-focused on one, which at the moment I technically am with Ricochet, if any of you are familiar with that. I'm very interested in that series writing. That is more of an original I think that's the most original concept I've ever done, and I'm very proud of that world building I've done there. A lot of writing behind that, but the Claire Compendium is kind of a prize in my eyes, and something I've been trying to work towards for a while. It's just a matter of can we. And I guess Wendigoon's given me the second wind to just go ahead and get Hastur on his ass, get this shit up, get these gods into order. I gotta stop saying things, and yes, get my shit together. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one, wherever and whenever that may be. Cheers.